Friends, here we go. Now we're going to think a little bit about glaciers and how they've formed Lake Michigan. So here's my glacier. I took this, froze some water in a container overnight, and you can do the same. Mine's a little dirty, but guess what? That's what glaciers look like anyways. They had a lot of rocks and sediments in them. And so these glaciers that moved through, and mind you, they were huge. They were like 5 U.S. bank buildings on top of each other and miles long. And as they started to get heavier and heavier, the bottom tends to get water collected on the bottom, and that allows these glaciers to slide across the land because of gravity. And as they slide across the land, they kind of push the land with it, and they carve out some holes as well. And so for Lake Michigan and our Great Lakes, that land underneath there was also not as sturdy, and so the glacier carved a big hole, and then it started to go up across the land on some harder surfaces. And you see here, we've got my hill, and it starts to roll over that hill, okay? And you see it produces one big hill at the end. And then when those glaciers, they start to retreat, and really what retreating is that the ice is melting, and the holes that they left, these giant holes, which are our Great Lakes, were filled in by all those melting glaciers. And then on the end here, you can see we get left with a couple different things. Got some rocks and things that those glaciers picked up off the land. They pile them up in hills. They make a whole bunch of different cool land forms. And Wisconsin is known for our glacial landforms. But as those glaciers melted here for the Great Lakes, they melt. They fill in those big depressions, and what's really interesting is that the land that's outside of, so the bluffs and everything where those glaciers went, they're like a sponge, and they're slowly starting to raise back up. So the water in Lake Michigan keeps it pressed down, and the land next to it is pushing back up. And this is how scientists think that the glaciers help to form Lake Michigan and our Great Lakes.